Topic which I'm going to discuss today with all the fellow researchers and young students is the crafting your PhD for a successful career in industry. And as I've been already introduced by Rajdeep, thank you, Rajdeep, for this wonderful introduction. So I'm currently working as a data scientist at Mavnier System. I work in primarily time series forecasting and anomaly detection kind of use cases in telecom industry. And prior to joining Mavnier, I was working as a PhD scholar where I have primarily worked on image analysis, medical image analysis, where I worked on image quality assessment and enhancement problems, focused on retinal images. So let's start the discussion. So today, first, I'm going to discuss 3 points: the pros and cons of industrial jobs, and the second one is the common mistakes during PhD, and the second point is actually common to all. It's not related to data science or any. It is this mistakes we do in every research field. And the third point is crafting the PhD for a successful career in industry. So I'll be giving the examples since I'm a student of data science. So I'll be giving examples for from data science. However, you can, if you are from different research field, you can relate to it. So let's start. So the uh, pros and cons of industrial jobs are as follows. The pros are in industry you get higher pay, so your salary will be high. And since if in the initial phase it's not high, then due to faster career project progression, by the in a period of 4 to 5 years, you will be at a very high package. And the third point is learn the reality. This point actually, I'm trying to explain that whatever you learn in your academic journey, and you see that when you go to the industry, you see that what type of algorithms are actually getting deployed, and what type of algorithms are used to turn the idea into a product, right? In most of the time, when especially I'm talking when we are doing PhD, we are reading very recent papers from transactions and other high impact journals. So what we see and witness, there are fancy models and advanced, very complex structures. So most of the time they are not eligible to being deployed in order to create a product that can be used for as a like as a commercial purpose, right? And the fourth important point is teamwork. Most of the time in our PhD, we do our work alone, right? So that is where the depression and anxiety comes into the picture. But here in industry, you work as a team. It's not the whole product is not your responsibility. There are other team members as well. So that is one of the great advantages in working in industry. And the third one is the last one is the practical application. So the practical application, what I mean is like whatever you have studied till date, like from starting from your engineering and then masters and then in your coursework, you can witness and you can experience that your knowledge is actually you can convert it into a product. So the practical applications of your knowledge, you can experience that. So that is a very fine feeling, right? And let's discuss the cons as well. So it most of the time when you work in an organization, that organization is actually specialized for producing the products in a particular domain, like for example medical domain, telecom domain, and financial domain, etc. So the area where you work is very narrow. You don't have any most of the time, I would say, you don't have any freedom. That is the third point. You don't have any freedom to go outside the outside of your organization's interest, right? So this will in turn limited exposure to, and networking. So most of the time, it's 100%, not most of the time, 100% you are in your office within your team. So and working on the similar projects. And what it means is similar projects is like I work in telecom industry, right? So I work in time series forecasting and anomaly detection and similar type of projects. So most of the time, uh, just use cases changes, but the methods and the requirements are same. So these are the cons, right? You like if we compare it as if we compare it with the academics, you have a free hand to work on, right? That might that depends like depends person to person what are the priorities of a person, right? So I have given the pros and cons. Now let's move the common mistakes that we do during PhD. I did myself and I learned from them, and I have listed down here. These are my mistakes which I did during my PhD. First one is, and it has nothing to do with computer science or data science. It is common. It can varies across the spectrum of research areas, chemistry, biology, everywhere. So first one is not thinking of research during the coursework. When we get admitted at any IIT, we get very happy and we get very relaxed during the first year of our PhD. हमारा तो IIT में हो गया, and we are very happy and we are doing only coursework and chilling with friends, right? So, and we mostly don't focus on finding out the research problem, right? What we are going to tackle during our PhD. So it costs more. In most of the time it costs more than a year. Like you have completed your coursework in a year, and after that it took 1 year to find out a research problem statement, right? So don't do this, please. If you are in the initial stage of your PhD. Second point is thinking only PhD during PhD. So like other points are poor time management, focus only on and poor time management, poor work life balance, and inadequate self care. So these second, fourth, fifth, and sixth point are related, right? So what we do is we constantly think all the time, even when we sleep, that we are doing PhD. We have to what we will do, how we will publish the paper, and during the initial time, how we will find the statement. Then when we start working, how we will find the method, how we will get the idea, how we will read the paper, and how we will write the paper. Because in the initial phase of your PhD, you don't know how to write. Like if you remember your first draft, you would be smiling at yourself, right? So every time we keep on thinking, every time, day and night, every second of a day, we are thinking that we are doing PhD. We forget that we have a life. We forget that we are the last point. One day our PhD will end, and it should. One day PhD will end, and we need to find a job. So what happens during the last phase of our PhD? We think that we are an IITian and we are going to finish our PhD. We will share our resume, and the employer will call us for an interview. This is not true. I myself have applied more than 400 applications across the industry, including across the industry, postdoctoral, and for academics. And let me tell you, in academics, not only in government jobs, I haven't applied in any government because I was not defended my thesis. I applied to the private engineering college, and from them I haven't got any calls. So like the third point, coming on to the third points, poor time management. So this habit of thinking only PhD lead us to poor time management. We keep on continuously sitting on our labs for longer hours, 12 to 18 hours a day, just to please our supervisor, that we are sitting in our lab and he will be thinking, my student, my boy is sitting like this much of time in the lab, and he is doing very hard work. And what we are doing, actually, we are watching YouTubes and we are surfing through the internet. More like if we are sitting 12 to 18 hours a day, I am 100% sure that we are working only 30 to 40% of time of that hours. So please don't do this, right? Focus, the fourth point, very important, focus only on advanced knowledge. As we move deeper into our PhD, we start only reading paper and we forget that only the fundamentals are the uh, is the way which can lead us to get an idea so that we can contribute in our problem statements. Not only advanced knowledge, we need to find a balance, right? Poor work life balance. What is poor work life balance? Like I have said that we sit longer time in the lab and then we just came back and we sit in our room. हम कहीं नहीं जाते, हम किसी से नहीं मिलते, we don't meet friends, we like I'm depressed and I'm hopeless and similar kind of thoughts will come into our mind, right? Like we don't do exercises, we don't do fun, we don't go and watch movies with friends, we don't plan outings, right? So yes, we just ignore all these things and we just think that we are doing PhD and PhD. Oh my God, how will this end? So this is not the attitude. This is a wrong attitude while doing the PhD. So what is the solution? What is the solution? Solution is discipline. One word solution is discipline. What is discipline? The practice and training your mind and body so that you control your actions. You control, not your circumstances, not your situation. Whatever the situation is, your paper is rejected, your experiments have been failed, like your hardware is dumped, everything. Whatever the situation is, you should control your actions, not your situation. Okay. Now, how like being in this kind of situation, how we can craft our PhD so that we have first successful PhD and second the career which we wanted all like by ourselves for ourselves after at the end of the PhD, right? So first thing, maintain a routine and strictly follow it. Like like Ankit, you want to say that your supervisor used to tell us during our PhD?
Yeah, he used to say like we have to work from 9 to 5 only, like a professional job. So if you work for 9 to 5 for like 5 days a week, the PhD should be done within 4 years. So that's what he used to say to
And
me.
one more thing, he used to tell us both that हम साथ में ही रहते थे. Like he used to tell us both that it's you who have to do the things, not anyone else. It's you. You can only help yourself. And
Yeah, that's the
either
thing.
today
Like
or tomorrow, आज नहीं तो कल. If you skip the things, you ultimately you have to do. You can't skip anything, right? For example, let us take the example of paper rejection. Your paper has been rejected and it has been advised for the revision. Unless you'll complete the revision, your paper is not going to accept anywhere. If you'll skip that, you one day you have to do it. It's you have to decide when you are going to do that, right? So I have just given an example. Monday to Friday, reach sharp at 9, your lab, work 9 to 1, then 1 to 2, lunch and tea, and have fun with friends, and 2 to 6 again, pure work. I have taken the maximum time, 8 hours a day. However, you can choose 6 to 8 hours. Even 6 hours are enough. Enough. Believe me, I have completed my PhD. Believe me, 6 hours is enough in a day. After that, just stop thinking about PhD. Just stop your work. After that, all time is yours. And during Saturday, 9 to 1, 3 to 5 hours, just stop. After lunch, no PhD work. And believe me, you can ask this to your supervisor. He will also not deny that. Believe me. And Sunday, anything you want. You want to sleep, sleep. You want to go movie, go movie. You want to have some outing with friends and some other things as well. So what about after 6 p.m.? What about after 6 p.m.? क्या करेंगे? So that is where the intelligent things come into the picture. Sports, fun outing, anything that makes you happy between 6 to 9. After 9, have dinner, come back to your room, spare now. This is the place where you will go, you will move yourself like above anything else. Even you can't imagine yourself that I can do that. These 1 to 2 hours of daily, sparing 1 to 2 hours of your day for your career goals will make you successful than ever even you can't imagine for yourself, right? So what, so up, like what we are going to do in these 1 to 2 hours. So for example, like I have just illustrated that, suppose after your coursework you are going to finish your PhD in 5 years of period, and 4 years you are sparing 1 to 2 hours a day, that is 460 hours. And similarly 2,900 something, right? So this much hours you can learn any new technology, even you haven't seen in your life before, right? You can see the number of hours. Most of the lectures you found in for any new subject are more not more than 40 hours. You have 1,460 hours only when you are sparing only 1 hour a day, only 1 hour a day. It's like a systematic investment plan of time, like SIPs we do. You must have know about the SIPs and mutual fund, right? बहुत थोड़ा पैसा बहुत टाइम के लिए लगाते हैं and it becomes a very large amount. This is kind of that thing, systematic investment plan for time, right? So
So
what
I
we will
want
be
to
doing.
add, I want to add something in this. So you can invest this time in like learning skills, like whatever skills that are coming in the future. Like you see that this skill will help you in future in getting the jobs. Then you can spend this time in learning those skills and all. So that will help
Yes,
you in reaching your career goal much faster and much smoother.
yes. So now I will be telling you in context of data science what you will be doing in first 1 to 2 hours. Sorry. First important thing, this is not related to data science. If this is important for every PhD student working in any research field. First, grow your virtual and real connections. Virtual on LinkedIn, find people in India and across the globe who are working in your research area and send at least 10 connection requests per day. Okay, I repeat, send at least 10 connection requests per day. The moment you have admitted into your PhD, right? By the time you will be ending up submitting your thesis, you will be having more than 2 to 3,000 people in your LinkedIn profile across the globe, across the country. Don't stick only till your institute, right? And yes, don't bifurcate by their course that he's from BTech, how he can help me. So let me tell you the reason. In real world, make friends in your institute and outside the institute, especially with BTech and master students. In I'm saying this because you are looking for career as an industry, right? BTech and master students are going to leave the institute way early than you. They are going to join the industry and they can refer you in their organization. And the most important point to get a job in the industry is referral. Referral is the uh, very referral has the most probability that you will get an interview call, right? So that is why always be humble and try to make friends with graduate student and master students. Don't think that you are very senior. You are in PhD, my PhD who I can't like be sit like a friend to BTech students and master students, right? Don't think like that. So, and third point, how you will make outside like friends outside your institute in real world. Attend workshop and conferences. साल में एक trip plan कर लो. Any from at any IIT or any better place, just go and attend a workshop and conference. There you will find the very famous professors working in your area, very famous, very good students working across the country, and just be their friends, be in their touch. That's how you grow your connection. Always remember, the more people you know, the more is the probability of you getting a job at industry, right? So this is common for all. Next. So this is just a 5 minute game, right? Sending a friend request is just a 5 minute game. So we still have 55 minutes left if you are sparing 1 hour a day. So study fundamentals of your area. Fundamentals. Study daily. आप पेपर पढ़ो या ना पढ़ो, whether you are studying your state of the art papers like CVPR publishing in open like CVF foundation papers, study fundamentals daily. You can skip reading the papers, but you cannot skip reading your fundamentals. So what are those? Machine learning depth, machine learning breadth. Third one is learning approach, how to learn these two, depth and breadth. And the fourth one is data structure and algo that you have studied during your graduation. So machine learning depth. These are some important concepts that I have included here. There are many more. I could not include them all. So regularization, bias, variance, activation functions, cost function, excuse me, optimization, algorithms, learning rate, momentum, pooling, vanishing gradient, exploding gradient, overfitting, and etc. etc. Let me give you a very good example. They will not, during the interview, nobody is going to ask you the formula of precision, recall, sensitivity, specificity. Forget it. This is not that straightforward. Even a small company, even a startup will going to ask you that he will give you a use case that suppose we are creating a AI based model that will judiciary based system whether that will check based on the inputs whether a person is guilty or not. So what evaluation matrix is suitable here? Precision or recall? Sensitivity or specificity? How you will check what is ROC curve? How it is different from AUC curve? What is p-value? P-value is not probability. What is the real meaning of probability? So after reading daily these things, you will, by the time you will start like visualizing things, you can relate that regularization and bias and variance are not different things. Suppose someone asks during the interview, regularization nahi karenge to kya hoga? What will happen if we will not perform the regularization? What you will answer? This is not a question that you can memorize. You can memorize the formula of regularization L1 and L2 and there are many more, but you cannot memorize the answer of these type of questions. Why logistic regression is logistic cost function is there in classification? Why not MAE or MSE? What is the reason behind? So these type of questions you should start thinking of it, right? And that is going to certainly help in your paper because then you will answer that in my use case, in my problem where I'm working, I'm going to use these evaluation matrices, and these are the reasons behind. I'm not, suppose you are using only precision and sensitivity, you are not using recall and specificity, so you can answer it, yes, this is because I'm not using it, because they have very less significance. Next, machine learning breadth. The more algorithms you know will going to help you certainly in your finding your dream job. Like for example, there are number of algorithms in supervised machine learning: support vector machine, linear regression, logistic regression, naive Bayesian classification, decision tree, and under decision tree there are many: random forest, XGBoost, and many more. ANNs and CNNs are there. They are creating fancy models these days. Unsupervised learning, K-means clustering, very basic algorithm. And if someone start asking in only K-means, most of the times aspirants don't able to answer. For example, you have must have been through this naive Bayesian classification algorithm, right? It works on the Bayesian algorithm that calculates the probability. So suppose there are three classes and it's a classification problem, and for the third class there are no samples in training. So what will happen? Bayesian classification will say that there is no probability of this class. However, there is a class. The only thing is we don't have any sample in the training. So that is the limitation of naive Bayesian. So that's how you need to develop a understanding of your area, of your the algorithms you know. And this is, it took years to build this type of thinking, this type of ability in your work. It took years. So the people who are going to gym, they can understand of daily doing things. Rather, एक दिन में आप body नहीं बना सकते. You cannot build your body within 2 months or 3 months. it took years to build. Similarly, it took years to build uh, this type of thinking, so that you can imagine things, you can relate things. Okay, so and three areas. One is also very important these days: reinforcement learning. I will take only 1 minute for reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is comparatively tough to understand, and there are very less people who can clear interview if that interview is solely based on reinforcement learning, and there are very less interviewers as well. Reinforcement learning पे interview लेना भी tough है. I cannot even take interview on reinforcement learning. So if you start working the concepts and learning the concepts of reinforcement learning, because today, suppose you are today in second year or third year, you are going to finish your PhD in next 2 years or 3 years. Chat GPT has been released today, and LLMs are the topic of present, not future. This is not future anymore. And within span of 2-3 years, people will tear apart the LLMs. So उस टाइम पर अगर आपको LLMs नहीं आता होगा, that will be very difficult for you guys. So this is how you should think, that after 4 years, when I will apply for a job, what type of jobs will be there, what topics will be there. So this is how you should think at this moment. Even the supervised and unsupervised, which I have listed here, will not go anywhere. They will be there as well. But additionally, reinforcement learning will be there as well. So इस तरह से आपको सोचना है, right? And the third point is how we should learn. First thing, mathematical explanation of that algorithm which you are reading. Second, assumptions behind that algorithm. For example, linear regression. किसी ने आपको एक एग्जांपल दिया that we have a data which is not where the features are not normally distributed. So which algorithm you will be going to use? And you have said linear regression, sir, because we are going to predict the continuous values. So he will understand that you have not understood the algorithms properly and you have just make a ratta out of it. Because the assumption of linear regression first is the features should be in normally distributed form, right? The advantages of that algorithm and the limitations of algorithm. And using chat GPT, you can create a code. Please, I repeat this. Always try to practice the code in your spare time. केवल PhD की coding मत करिए. Try to practice your hands on keyboard and thinking the logic of that code behind. What you can do, you can copy and paste. But if you are copy and pasting it, just try to understand line by line what it is working. You can copy it, no problem. For the next 4 years, you can just copy and paste and just execute it. And just after that, just try to understand line by line what every line is saying, every line. And the final thing is data structure and algorithms. You all have completed your graduation, so I'm not going to tell what is data structure and algorithm. Just I will share that Geeks for Geeks and Lead Code are the best resources to prepare for the interview. Just search in the Google that how to prepare for Google interview and Facebook interview. They will share the whole syllabus and just follow it. Simple. And practice and revision for the next 4 years. Only 1 hour a day. Simple. Nothing more than this. And final key points from my side. If you are looking for a job in industry, try to find a PhD problem statement that is not very closely, not exactly, but somehow similar or aligned with the industry problems. Very important point. Second point, desperately try to arrange the industrial internships. If not, only internships at some labs. Those labs which are working in the area which are closely aligned with the industry problems. Third point, suppose you want to join an industry at a particular problem statement, like for example, compression, image compression or video compression. So have at least one paper in any conference. I would say any conference. I will not say CVPR and all. But yes, important point to mention is if you're having CVPR or something like some similar conferences, then it is very beneficial. But the reality is it is very tough because 70% papers are accepted from labs like Google and Facebook. So how we will manage, because we are working alone? Like, this is the reality, right? Publishing a CVPR in conference is not easy task. So there are many workshops. They are getting arranged in these CVPRs and similar conferences. Workshop, and there you can publish. It is not that tough. It is 30, like 70% easier to publish in those workshops. But you will be having a name, that CVPR workshop, not CVPR original conference, but CVPR workshop. And you will get a chance to attend the original conference, and you will get a chance to meet the people who are working across the globe in the very like the best labs in the world, the best people, the best minds of your area. And you can just, the first point, communicate people, make real friends. That will going to help you. Try to try to make the object, achieve this, yeah, like workshop papers. This will definitely going to help you. So that's all from my side, Ankit. uh, Thanks everyone for listening patiently.